finally did it. I saw every movie from 2025 I need to see, just in time for the new year. What? It's August? Here's the pain in the ass about not being a professional film critic. You don't get to see the movies early. Most professional film critics see about 300 domestic releases a year. Last year, I saw the most films from that year I've ever seen. 180, which meant I could only see so many in the theater. The rest I had to wait for on streaming, on rental, and the ones that were really, really rare that I really wanted to see, I had to find other means of seeing them. And not to mention all the new releases that come out each year, all the retrospectives I want to do, all the re-releases I want to watch. And now you can tell how it takes quite a while to finally get to my year-end list, which seems pretty irrelevant now because it's the dead of summer and we're knee-deep in 2026, and YouTube has changed its algorithm so no one's even going to watch this video. No one's even watching most of my videos, so what does it even matter? It's like I'm screaming into the void. I can't even find my fake Oscars that I want to use for this bit. All I have is this hamster. So I'm not even doing the annual Shanies, I'm doing the hammies, the annual hammies. But even still, I'm gonna march on because I love cinema. Last year had some surprisingly good movies, even though I don't think it was the strongest year. And fuck YouTube, I'm doing my top 10 whether anyone watches this or not. Actually, I take that back. Don't fuck YouTube. It's one of the better platforms, and I'd really like to grow this channel some more. Before we get into my top 10, let's do some honorable mentions. We have The Testament of Anne Lee. Amanda Seyfried gives an incredible performance in this surprisingly moving film about the Shaker movement. Blue Sun Palace, a Chinese immigrant story that was little seen, but definitely is worth watching. Happy End, a cool sci-fi dystopian coming-of-age teen movie. My Father's Shadow, another coming-of-age story set during the 1993 election in Lagos. The Ukrainian documentary 2,000 Miles to Andriivka, which has the most harrowing war footage of any movie I've seen in the last few years. And just outside my top 10, the least seen film of 2025, the Turkish drama The Things You Kill. A movie that is the heir apparent of David Lynch, that has one of the best shots of the year and one of the most haunting endings. Now that that's out of the way, let's get to the top 10 because I'm not getting any younger and this year keeps getting older and older. Number 10, the most feel-bad movie of last year, Sirat. On its face, this seems just like a miserablest tale of adventurers. But what starts as a mystery soon becomes mystical, as a father, his son, and these ravers face trials and tribulations in the Moroccan desert. Director Oliver Lachey lets the images and sounds and music create a palpable atmosphere of dread that leads us to one of the most shocking moments of movies last year, and one of the most shocking moments I've seen since Hereditary. Sirat is one of those films that makes you feel awful, so much to the point where you start wondering, why am I watching this? What is the point? But by the end, when Lachey brings together the spiritual journey with the more socio-political themes, Sirat becomes an undeniable and unforgettable experience. And if we're talking about other feel-bad experiences, the Germany film from Cannes, Sound of Falling, scratches that itch. It follows 4 different time periods of 4 different German women, and not just how they navigate their station within German society, but how they navigate their purpose within life itself. Each woman from different times is given different edicts to follow, and how some break them or follow them or completely subvert them is how this film casts a spell, again with incredible sound design and first-person POV shots that flow you in and out of memory. This is a tough and enigmatic watch, but it's also strangely one of the most relaxing films of 2025. It's a film about rhythm and time, and it's worth yours. And number 8, we're still on the bad vibe train, but now with some surprising comedy. It's Jafar Panahi's Cannes-winning It Was Just an Accident. You wouldn't think a film about a man who kidnaps who he thinks is his torturer would be funny, but once he ensnares a ragtag group of friends and strangers into a scheme, well, this kind of becomes a comedy of errors. That is, until Panahi brings us back to the brutal reality of Iran and the Iranian regime. This has one of the best ensembles of 2025, one of the best shots, and one of the best endings. It's a film about revenge and in some ways forgiveness, but it's not as clean-cut as you'd expect. With this film, Panahi truly announced himself on the global stage, and it's an incredible film. If you haven't seen his other works, please, I hope this is the gateway to you discovering this amazing filmmaker. At number 7, we're finally into full-blown comedy territory. Dark comedy, though. Dark comedy from Chan-wook Park. It's no other choice, one of the funniest and most biting satires of last year. Squid Game's Lee Byung-hun plays a paper man who suddenly loses his job and hides it from his family. So to be at the cutting edge of a new position at another paper company, he decides to literally kill his competition. Chan-wook Park is a master of visualizing his thrillers in ways you wouldn't even expect. Where he puts the camera, the crazy situations he puts his characters in, and how he resolves his thrillers, not necessarily with moral lessons, but definitely with something to chew on. This is a movie you might hate yourself for laughing at, but the skill and humor and a career-best performance by Lee Byung-hun make this an indelible film from 2025. And speaking of indelible films, number 6 is Train Dreams. No, it's not a comedy, and no, it's not the darkest movie of last year, but it's definitely a life-affirming one, which does include the tragedy of life. Joel Edgerton plays a simple logger and family man who suffers tragedy and then enters the 20th century with grief and a desperation to move on. There are shades of Terrence Malick here, shades of the assassination of Jesse James. The film has a poetic richness, a texture to it. It's like we've been transported and slipped deep into the past. And with Edgerton as our everyman anchor, he breaks our heart and leaves us with images and a performance that will stand the test of time. We're in the top 5. So these movies haven't been quite a barrel of laughs, but let's get to maybe the most fun film of 2025. At number 5, it's Sinners. Before Sinners came out, it was maybe the most underestimated film of 2025. Then when it became a massive hit and just a down-the-line excellent entertainment by Ryan Coogler, a lot of the naysayers finally shut up, and a lot of people like me remembered, oh yeah, this guy is really fucking good at making movies. Coogler's vampire film defies genres. It's horror, it's a musical, it's damn sexy, it kinda has everything you'd want in an entertainment. It was a reminder that big studios can still let auteurs make big blockbusters that have something to say, that have style, that have swagger, that have identity, and nabbed Michael B. Jordan the Oscar for Best Actor. Sometimes you just want to see a good guy and a movie star take home the gold. My number 4 spot is fun if you're a cinephile like me. It's the Norwegian film Sentimental Value. Yes, on paper, this seems like another movie about the power of art and how it can heal and bring families together. But Norway doesn't do sappy the way America does. And the story of an actress daughter trying to reconcile with her asshole director father has all the best elements of family drama and insider movie-making picture without the platitudes and the sentimentality. This is a film about art and artists that isn't pretentious, mileage may vary. The performances by Renate Reinsve, Stellan Skarsgård, Inga Ibsdóttir Lillias, and yes, Elle Fanning, I'm not her biggest fan, but this is probably the best she has ever been. They're all exceptional, and they lead to one of the most gratifying movie experiences of 2025. Speaking of gratifying and cinephilia, number 3 is not about movies, but infused with movie making and the love of movies in every frame. It's B. Gahn's Resurrection. His epic near 3-hour tale with 6 different stories, part anthology film and part cinema phantasmagoria, is unlike anything that came out last year. Gahn creates love letters to everything from silent cinema, to gangsters, to love stories, to his penchant for long takes, including one here that is gobsmacking. It's all stitched together by astonishing cinematography and an absolutely mesmerizing score by M83 that makes this a total cinema experience. It's an aural and visual soundscape, one you might not always understand, but which I believe will become a future cult classic. My number 2 is from a director who used to make cult classics, and now apparently he makes Oscar-winning films. It's Paul Thomas Anderson's One Battle After Another. Yes, the film that was everyone's best of 2025 just barely misses the top spot. This is one of the best movie theater experiences I had last year. Seeing Paul Thomas Anderson bring all his tools and tricks to an IMAX screen, throwing in his mastery of drama and comedy, but with this time his mastery of action, made One Battle one of the most thrilling and funny and rewarding films of last year. Who knew Leo could play such a good deadbeat dad on screen? Who wouldn't want Tiana Taylor to step on them? Who knew Sean Penn had an RFK Jr. impression in him? Who needed the reminder that yeah, Benicio del Toro is that fucking guy? And how did we never realize that we needed a car chase filmed like a roller coaster ride? This was a huge movie on the biggest canvas possible, and director Paul Thomas Anderson going for the gold, never betraying himself for 1 second, and winning it all. But One Battle After Another is not my winner. The #1 spot of 2025 and the Hammy Award winner goes to a film that floored me so much in the theater, I had to watch it immediately when it came on streaming, just to see if it really was the masterpiece I had seen that first time. We've talked a lot about films that show off their love of cinema and integrate cinema into their narratives, but no other film did it better than 2025's The Secret Agent. The Oscar-nominated masterpiece from Brazilian director Kleber Mendonça Filho, it represents everything at least I want from movies. Wagner Moura plays a political refugee hiding out from hitmen in 70s Recife. There are elements of thriller, elements of farce, elements of family drama. The film incorporates homage and callbacks to Jaws, paranoid thrillers of the 70s, Grindhouse, and Mendonça Filho's love for Recife, a place where he grew up and his love of cinema grew with him, and which he captures here in staggering period detail. This is the best production design of 2025, and with Mara in the lead, it might be the best performance. It's a long one, and it doesn't end the way you think it should, because this is also a film about time and history and preservation. How we preserve time, how things get recorded, how things get passed down, how things get remembered and forgotten. The Secret Agent is like a great memory of a great film. To me, it was such a surprise, such a rich and rewarding experience. I have now upgraded it to 5 stars. Immortal. Hammy agrees. And that's my top 10. It only took 7 extra months for me to finish the year, but I did it. And I hope the 5 or 6 people that watch this enjoy this. If you like this top 10 list, please like and subscribe or follow me on Letterboxd at RamirezS316. Now, 2026. I have a bit of a bone to pick with you, because this has been an even less good year than last year. So I'm really hoping these last 5 months come through, and maybe my top 10 for 2026, which at this rate I'll probably do in like early 2028. I hope it comes out even better than this one. Bye now.